right, so yeah, if y'all are watching this, I guess y'all will be seeing this on Friday. I'm Not Over You, our first single's dropping this Wednesday on Spotify, on Apple Music, and everything. So if it's Friday, you'll be able to check us out on Spotify.
Hello, and welcome to After the Set with Running From.
We're here with big old Hart Cleveland from another band in Baton Rouge called Better Late Than Never. Really good band, super vibey band. So we got Hart here to get today to talk to him about kind of how you differ in your music, like writing process than us.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
How you take like preparation to shows and stuff like that, like differently than we do. So I don't know. We'll just talk through the differences between kind of our band and yours and see, maybe we'll find out stuff we can improve on and we'll go from there.
Shoot, I'll probably find out stuff I can improve on.
Well, hopefully we both.
To be
do.
honest, I'm pretty lazy.
Yeah, we're all pretty lazy. That's for
Step
sure.
one.
Step one, try.
Make a podcast. All right, so tell us a little bit about your band, Hart. What are y'all about?
Our band's just about like playing what we want to play, and so our biggest thing is sticking to what we like and making sure that above everything else we have fun doing what we're doing. And so the band we have right now, and I've been in numerous different bands that most of which did nothing over the last 4 or 5 years. But with this one, it's really one that like I've been pocketing like different riffs and pieces and parts of lyrics for over the last like 2-3 years. So this is like the one band I've really been like aiming for and taking like my time and making sure that everybody that comes into the band is somebody that not only is going to be a fit musically for the band, but somebody that's going to fit personality wise. Because at the end of the day, like our main goal is to put out music professionally and to be on tours, whether that be like a supporting tour, like which is the main goal right now, is to support on like a lower southeastern United States tour. So like here through Florida and stuff. It's like for us, it's more like, yeah, I want to sound good, but at the same time, like I want to be playing with somebody that I can ride in a van with for 2 months. So
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you say the name of your band too?
yeah, it's Better Late Than Never.
Great
How'd you
name.
come up with that?
So we had a list of like 12 different names. And basically how this one got decided on is when my buddy Logan Gaspard was in the band, he had Better Late Than Never as an idea and like 2 other ones. And so we narrowed it down, like after like 2 weeks, we narrowed it down to like a list of 6 names. And we could not pick for the life of us. We were like, dude, these are all like either really, really crappy or really, really good. So what we did was we went out to good old Tigerland for a night you can't remember. We went to Waffle House. I was like,
that's a move.
I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to list these as numbers, and then you're each going to pick a number between 1 and 10. So we eliminated it down to 2, and then I hit flip a coin. And flip a coin is what decided the name of the band. So,
I thought flip a coin was going to be the name of the band.
Oh, no. Flip a coin, like you tell Siri, hey, Siri, flip a coin. Siri flips a coin.
You.
I don't remember exactly if it was heads or tails, but whatever one it landed on, that's what stuck us with Better Late Than Never.
There you go.
So shout out to Logan for the band name.
Good work, Logan.
Even though you're not here anymore, but dude, no, he's cool. He left on his own terms. We love Logan.
That's good. All right. Well, what about y'all's music? So how are y'all coming along with that?
So right now we have completely done. Well, I say completely done. We switched lead guitarist. So we have a new guy, Mark Jones. You guys actually know Mark Jones.
Big dog Mark Jones.
Yeah.
Mark Jones is our new lead guitarist, and so he's kind of like we're having to take a step back so that Mark can
Learn the stuff
learn
and
everything that
yeah.
we have and create his own parts for it. But I would say, for the most part, songs we have finished lyrically and mostly musically wise, we probably have 8 or 9 songs right now. They're done completely.
Cool.
Really
So
Done completely, like recorded or finished writing?
or finished writing.
Okay.
Not done completely. We don't have recording process is completely different.
Where are y'all trying to go?
Who did we look at? We had originally when Logan was still in the band, we looked at Jack Mealy of the Molly Ringwald's. He has a studio in New Orleans.
Oh, does
and
he?
he did Burnhouse's newest single.
Yeah, their stuff sounds good.
So we had looked at him, and we had looked at a few other people, and then Corona happened.
Yeah.
And so what me and Ryan decided to do is we spent money on Studio One and a multi-channel interface from Personas, and decided we're going to try to do it ourselves. So
had any of y'all done anything like that before?
No.
See, that was my Corona skill.
Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly why we started
that was us too, 'cause
producing
we had
in-house
recorded.
stuff.
We'd recorded somewhere and then like couldn't finish recording. You know what I mean? Like we did a day, but it wasn't done, and so we needed to go back, but we couldn't just because Corona was going on.
Yep.
So I bought Ableton and started just doing everything in there and trying to learn everything. But it's such a learning curve.
Oh, it's so hard to learn, and
Yeah.
everything's different. Like I would say, the only reason I say we have absolutely no experience is because every DAW and every different system is completely different in how they
Yeah.
operate. So,
Right.
like if you have any Windows computer, you can have Audacity free on your computer.
Yeah.
Completely different than Studio One, and that's going to be a completely different animal than GarageBand. So they all work differently. So if you don't have any experience with a certain
You got to relearn
a certain
all
DAW,
over
you got to
again.
relearn everything.
Yeah.
So
That's the toughest part about it. Well, that's cool if y'all are recording your own stuff. Do you get to y'all are doing that a lot? Like,
yeah, we try to pick we try to practice 2 to 3 days a week, and then if we can fit a fourth day in there, a recording day, or if we
More than
have
us.
to pick if we have
Yeah.
to pick like out of the only 2 days, or it's like all right, 1 day's a practice day, 1 day's a recording day.
nice. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
typically how we do things.
That's trying.
That's
We
good.
try and do that too, or you got to just keep a schedule, or you're not going to do
Yeah.
anything.
You have to.
We'll sit on songs for so long because
Yeah.
like we didn't schedule out like when we were going to work on it and everything. Especially with I'm Not Over You coming out, like we've been only focusing on that, like doing nothing else the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's been tough getting our other songs up there, but we're starting to. I don't know what the next one we're going to do is. Probably.
Well, we got to wrap up Staring at the Sun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's probably gonna
Yeah.
be the next one.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, so yeah, if y'all are watching this, I guess y'all will be seeing this on Friday. I'm Not Over You, our first single's dropping this Wednesday on Spotify, on Apple Music, and everything. So if it's Friday, you'll be able to check us out on Spotify. We'll pull the Spotify page up and everything. Make sure you get Hart stuff up here too for Better Late Than Never,
Oh,
so
yeah.
people can be following
Yeah,
y'all on
our,
Instagram too and everything.
Our Instagram is at Better Late Than Never BR,
Yep.
and our Twitter is at capital B, capital L, capital T, capital N, lowercase, band BR. So
There you go.
I got it.
everything else was taken.
We'll get everything. We'll get everything up there for you and make sure we get you those plugs.
Yeah. We always
Appreciate
hit people
it.
up with this
Yeah,
plug.
for sure.
dude.
Appreciate being on the podcast with the homies.
Oh yeah, man. We
Dude,
love
we
a good
love it.
podcast, dude. Yeah, we love a good podcast.
a good pod.
We're all
Yeah.
about the pod life now.
We are.
I mean, you
Super
can't
into the
get. You
pod.
got to do something, man. There's that.
Dude. Fix
It
in
was
post.
inevitable.
Yep.
So, what are your like influences when you're writing? What's your favorite people to write?
Oh, dude, my influences are so just everywhere. I take inspiration from a bunch of different genres. So, some of my favorite bands that I would take inspiration from, like The Used, is one that I like a lot to listen to before writing anything. My favorite band of all time to this day is Blink-182.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of
Classic.
Blink. Listen to a lot of Blink. That's a lot of inspiration. I would say Alice in Chains influences me really heavily. Lane
yeah.
Staley is just an amazing
Yeah,
vocalist.
He's the best.
Gone way too soon, way ahead of his time. I'd say Wu-Tang Clan, like they have really, really good lyricism. If anyone listens to rap, like classic 90s rap like Wu-Tang, really, really, really good lyricism in their
Yeah.
music. So you can look at that for inspiration as like how to formulate different stanzas and different
like,
lines.
When you're about to write, like, do you sit down and say like, I'm about to write a song, and then sit down and like shut yourself in your room or whatever and like write, or do you
Usually,
get hit with something like a riff or something
It
like that?
depends. Like, so sometimes like I'll just be chilling at work and I'll just like kind of have like a phrase or like a little lyric pop in my head, and I'll sneak off, go write it down in my notes and be like, all right. And I'll think about it all day. And then the hardest part is trying to come up with a riff that
Yeah.
goes with the lyrics. And you know, we've done it. It's hard, but we've done it. But usually what ends up happening is I'll play around with a riff, or I'll have something in memos and I'll pull it up and we'll play it and get it down enough to where, you know, we can play a segment of it in a loop. And I'll just basically start by like throwing random words over it, just anything. I'll like, sometimes it won't even be words, it'll just be noises.
You like
We'll record
spitball
it
at and try and get a melody
and
out.
try to get a melody out, and then I'll listen back to it, be like, okay, that kind of sounds like this, or oh, all right, this word phrase makes sense. And then from there, it's either, okay, do we want to come up with like a story and create something fictional, or do we want to draw from experiences and like talk about something real? So like one we've done recently that we're working on, which is, I'm going to be excited when we start recording this one, because it's probably our most different song from what we have right now in our catalog of songs that we're writing. It's one we're writing called Bulletproof. And that one, it was like one of our first practices with Mark. And I was like, you know what, let's just like see how everyone vibes together. I'm just going to play this really simple progression, and you just, you know, do what you can over it. And Ryan will improv some drums. We did. And, you know, I started kind of thinking, all right. And then threw some words over it, and then we all kind of laughed about it because we had it like recorded on an iPhone video just so we could like, you know, see what it sounded like. And I said, Ryan, this sounds like something that would be in like a Van Wilder movie. Like this sounds like a 90s rom-com song, and that is what we're going to do with this. So me and Ryan sat down for like 3 days, and we were like, all right, we have to make this the most stereotypical story ever. And like it got to the point where we were like calling random people in our phone book, and we were like, hey, hypothetically, if you were in this type of situation, what would you do? All right, cool, thanks, write it down, that's going in the song.
That's funny.
I like that. That's
So,
good.
it's just like, I look at it so many different ways, you know, like if I want to write something serious, I'll generally pull from like life experiences, and like that's whenever I kind of tend to like break off more myself and kind of work on something. And then whenever I want something more like engaging that can be like just go along with, doesn't have to mean anything, you can just kind of get like more vibey, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be stuff that we're just like, all right, let's throw it together and then like make sense of it later. So
Yeah, we do that sometimes where we'll just write something down, and then that's how we end up with half songs so much too, though. Is we'll just write something, and then like months will go by without us working on it or anything. That's cool though. I think what sounds like y'all will write like a lot of fictional situations and stuff like that, like pull off
and like
stuff, but it's not necessarily your own.
some of our stuff
experience.
is like a mix of like experiences and stuff that you got to make, because it's like, all right, well, I don't really know how to put that into words, or maybe I don't feel comfortable putting the whole thing into words. So it's like, take a picture of it, because at the end of the day, it's like, regardless if it's something that actually happened or not, somebody somewhere is going to resonate with it.
Right.
So if you have the ability to put something out there that someone's going to, you know, be able to relate to or understand, then all for the better.
That's cool. I think we normally write pretty personal to us, I would say.
We
Like,
don't?
I say we do.
Oh, I was gonna say
Definitely
we
do.
definitely do.
We definitely
That's
do.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of our stuff has been like, especially if Blake's going through something or whatever, and what happens is he'll write a riff and then give me a title. Like that's his thing. I don't know. It just happens.
Dude,
like
I just
that.
don't like to write lyrics.
That's the
'cause
system.
Every time I write lyrics, I think it sucks. Like,
Yeah.
it's
That's
just
every-
so cheesy.
It's
Dude,
hard
I'm
to
gonna
not
tell you,
come
like,
up with cheesy lyrics, dude.
That's a problem anyone that's ever going to write music is going to have,
Yeah, you
because
gotta
you're
just
your
get
own
past
worst
it.
critic, and you're going to sit
Yeah.
there and look at it, and I can tell you, like, just from my personal experience, I'll sit there and rag myself for a whole week on something, and Ryan's already gone and like snuck in his phone in there and recorded like a memo of us like practicing it and showed it to 30 people, and people were like, oh dude, when are y'all recording that? It sounds so good. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I thought that was the dumbest like thing I've ever written.
Yeah, we did something like that where
Yeah.
we were doing this simple riff. Actually, and I'm Not Over You, we did this stupid riff. It was just like one little 3-note riff or whatever. And we're like, that kind of sounds like Over You, but we didn't want to write just another Over You song because there's like 20,000 of them. And so we decided to put I'm Not Over You in front of it. And we're like,
A different
it's kinda
vibe.
dumb, but-
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, we liked it. So we ended up just sticking with it. And you're right, though. You're like, as soon as you don't push past that boundary of like, you're writing lyrics or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is stupid. I just want to put this
Like,
down.
I
Like, you
like to
just,
think
either way, you
about,
have to finish it.
Like all these songs that I like you hear on the radio, stuff that's popular now, the lyrics honestly are really dumb in most of these
right.
songs.
It's
Yeah.
not what it's about. It's
But you
about,
just gotta
like,
pull it
feeling.
off.
Think of any kind of popular music from 2005 to 2010, I mean, for Christ's sakes, LMFAO was one of the biggest musical artists of 2010.
Yeah, that's
how it feels, dude, not about the lyrics.
You got to pull it off. You got to have that confidence.
Yeah, and that's one thing you start to realize that like, nobody else critiques your music like you do.
Oh, no,
like,
absolutely not.
Notice, you'll hear something and be like, oh, that sounds like ass. I don't like that. But like nobody else catches it. Sometimes.
And I think that's where writer's block comes from, is it's from your own personal doubt, your self-doubt. You sit there and you look at yourself, you get so tired of working on something and being so close and wanting just a little bit more from it, and you shut yourself down.
Actually, one of the biggest things for me in songwriting has been like, one time Mark actually had asked me like what I've been working on, and I was like, oh, nothing, dude. I just have a bunch of dumb stuff in my phone. And he was like, dude, you need to finish your music. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right, Mark. Like I should. Because I told him, I was like, I'll work on something and then 2 days later be like, oh, this sucks, and throw it out. Like every time I wrote something, and he was like, you really just need to finish it. I don't care how dumb it is, just finish it. And that, you know what? Inspiring words from Mark Jones. So
dude, Mark's always the voice of reason. I will say that. Like, we'll sit there and Mark will say something, and I'll so badly want to be like, nah, that's not right. But he makes a lot of sense. Like, he sits there and like he looks at it from the logical side. It's like, how do you do that?
Yeah,
like, he's so good at that, man.
He just steps out of it sometimes. He is good at that.
What a guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Another thing I appreciate, like we're talking about being our own critic and stuff, well, I guess in another sense, when I try and write lyrics, I'm trying to come up with melodies, and I stick to like this same type of melody. It's hard to branch out from like, in my case, I stick with these same sounding melodies. And when I come to Eric, he's like, dude, instead of doing this, let's do this. I'm like, I would have never thought about that.
We write like we write together all the time.
That's why I think it's so important that like, and sometimes we have trouble with this because like I'll just start working on something and forget to ask anybody else about it. But at the end of the day, like, and it's something I need to work on more, is like involving everyone in the process. Like even if it's like, it needs to be more than just one person doing their part. Like everybody's input matters. Now, like I understand, like we have like this saying, it's like, if you feel really passionate about something that you wrote and like that's how you want it to sound, then like if you put most of the work in and that's how you feel like you want it to sound, then by all means, like you have right to say that's how it should go. But other than that, I think if it's something that like you just want to put out and you don't really care how it gets done, like because you never know, like he might have a better idea than you do, or your brain might be locked up because you're overworking yourself on something, and sitting next to you might
need
be
like
the key.
a fresh like perspective on stuff. It really
Absolutely.
helps.
Yeah,
that's how we always pretty much started writing. It's just me and Blake will go sit down, and then like, whoever's there at the time will sit down, and then we'll bring it to Cade and be like, hey, what do you think? Cade gives us his opinion, and then we switch it up based on what he says, because he's all the time got different opinions than we do. Because I feel like we write together so much that we start thinking the same way. So we bring it to Cade.
Cade also has very different musical taste from the rest of us,
He's
like different
true.
styles. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the funk in there.
Yeah,
So-
did I send you guys that demo that we did of a song of ours called "Fun and Games"? Did I send any of y'all that?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
We
Okay.
did one. I'll have to send it to you guys.
Yeah,
we have a demo of one that we're working on. It hasn't been mixed or mastered yet. But how that worked out is we started that one whenever Logan was still in the band. That was one of our first songs that we wrote and like finished everything. And how that came about is like we had a song originally that I was working on that sounded pretty good. Like we cranked it out like acoustically in one night.
Mhm.
We were like, dude, that sounds fire. Like sounds our thing. You guys have buns. Our thing is fuego. We call everything that's hot. We call it fuego.
I like that.
So like Ryan was like, dude, this is fuego. I was like, all right. So we worked on it, got the song 90% complete, and then for personal reasons, I was like, I don't want to do this song anymore. I was like, we can't do this song. And he was like, dude, why? I was like, don't worry about it. I think this is a good thing. I was like, I'll change some things here and there. So I took the main riff, changed it a little bit, added like some octave chords to it here and there, changed the order of some of the progressions. And then I was like, all right, here's how it sounds. Now they're like, yeah, it sounds pretty good, but what are the lyrics going to be now? I was like, dude, I have no idea. So I went home and I, kind of did this thing where I was like coming up with a melody to go over it. I was like, all right, that works. And I kind of like half of it was like really kind of something that I felt, and half of it was just kind of like I needed words to rhyme, so I just made nonsense.
Yeah.
And so I brought that back to them, and they were like, all right, this is actually kind of sounding good. They were like, we gotta do something with it. So we spent, me, Brock, Logan, and Ryan spent like 3 hours at my parents' house one day. Like we even left like our studio room where like all the instruments are where we practice. We left, we went in the kitchen, got a whole pizza and some brownies and sat there. We were like, all right, time to work on lyrics. And we cranked out a whole song in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And like that's our
Pizza-brownies
favorite
combo.
one.
There you go.
That's our favorite one. We just sat there and was like, that was not English. We would sit there and I would, kind of put in a line and say this or that. And, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I want to say. And Logan would be like, dude, you're pulling this from this experience. I know because I was there. And then Ryan would be like, dude, I remember because I was there too. I was like, well, all right. Well, at least you guys are, helping me write this. So we'd sit there and Logan would be like, dude, okay, this is what you're saying. This is what the song's about. Now that we know where this song is going, what it's about, like what experiences we're pulling from, he was like, we can make it more finite and put it in a chronological order and it'll make more sense.
Yeah.
So then we took it like that. And from there, we just kind of started critiquing lines that we already had and like making them sound more crisp and, more fluid so that the song flowed better.
Yeah.
If that's even a flowed. Flowed is
Yeah,
a word.
things can float.
Flowed. That's my other
They
thing
can
is I
now.
make up words 90% of the time.
Do y'all have as much trouble as we do with like second verses?
Oh,
We
dude.
hate second verses. I
common thing.
absolutely
Dude, my
hate
biggest
second
thing,
verses.
and I don't know if this is a problem for anyone else, but for me, it is so hard, is like the first thing that usually comes to me is a chorus. And so I tend to make the chorus the first verse
Yeah, me too.
of everything. I'm like, all right, chorus first, then a verse, then, another chorus. It's like the whole song is a chorus at one point. So I'm like, all right, we've got to start making separate verses and putting them first.
What's your opinion on bridges, though?
I love them when we do them right.
We don't.
Like,
we don't
We
do
just say,
them.
screw it. I don't know what to do. We're
We
just
always
not
do an
gonna have
instrumental
one.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah, bridges is something that's like hard, and even for us, like we learned when we were covering people's songs at first, when we were all getting to know each other and starting to see how each other play and how we interact with each other. We would cover songs, and we couldn't even do the bridge in other people's songs. We were like, dude, we're
It's
never
so weird. They're always so weird, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we need to work on a bridge game for sure.
Yeah.
Bridges definitely will sell a song for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you have a bridge or a breakdown,
It can be the absolute high point of a song, like even bigger than the chorus. That like I can think of plenty of songs where the bridge is just absolutely
it's
massive.
definitely a bridge. Definitely will sell it. It'll make it just punch right through
right.
and sell it. Because if you don't have one, if you have really really good lyricism and verses, yeah, that's great. It'll probably work. But if you have a bridge right there, like in between a chorus and a verse towards the end, it'll redirect the attention because it's a little change up and it's not so repetitive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that took us like a long time. Like we're still struggling with it. I'll get through a song and I'll write it and Ryan will be like, dude, you forgot the bridge again.
It
Yeah,
always
we
happens.
have like this thing of following a formula. Like sometimes you get in this mindset, like the first verse, chorus, second verse, chorus. We might have another verse and a chorus. It's like the same thing over and over. You
Yeah.
want to like make something different.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like I don't know what I want to say during a bridge most of the time. Like I never know what I want to say. I'm pretty much said all I need to say in the song because especially when we write from a really simple concept. Like we like to take maybe we've had like all these experiences in a certain area, but we'll take that concept and put it into 2 sentences and put it into a song, and that's kind of how we'll write from.
Yeah.
And so like by the time we get to the bridge, I've pretty much spent on whatever I want to say.
Yeah.
Like I'm done by then. So then we're like, screw it, instrumental.
And for your bridge, like it doesn't always have to be about getting a point across necessarily. For a bridge, you can just have it as a turnaround point. So
It's a headbanger. That's
so
all
if
we
you-
use for I'm Not Over You,
Yeah.
dude. The bridge is just a straight headbanger. And especially when you have a ridiculous guitarist, you just let him go.
So, like-
let him do his thing.
Just throw in those solos.
You let Kate do some weird stuff and let me go sit down and just headbang for a little while. That's cool with me.
that works as a bridge too. Like
Right.
bridges don't always like have to be so complex. Like
No, I feel like people try way too hard sometimes. On
Yeah,
them.
there-
Like,
there's
can tell
definitely
when
people
somebody
like
really
tries
calm
to.
down
there's
on a
definitely
bridge.
certain bands like for one, I'm just gonna throw them out there again because they're one of my favorite bands. But this band right here, Heart Attack Man, they're from Cleveland, Ohio. They're really, really good at doing bridges. Like they in every single one of their songs, and their songs really aren't that long. They're generally between like 2.5 and like just under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And they always have a bridge that's like, damn, that really redirects you. That sounded good. And sometimes their bridge is like my favorite part of the whole song.
Yeah,
That
you just have
happens to
to
me all the
change
time.
course like
There's
so
definitely
quick from how
people
you've been thinking about
that
the
have a
song.
knack for writing a bridge, and there's people like me that just like struggle with it so hard.
There's a
for
fine
no
line between
reason.
like redirecting the song and like, you know, redirecting attention maybe, then but like breaking the flow of the song completely. And
Yeah, and you're
ruining
like,
the-
oh,
ruining
I
the
don't
vibe.
want this bridge. I want to go back to the
That's the
chorus.
scariest part of it. That's the scariest
could
part
totally
because
mess
you
a
feel
song.
like you want to make it a little different so it's not as, you know, bland or repetitive. But if you do something too drastic, you're not going to be able to get back into that chorus or that verse. It's going to be way too out of pocket. And that's where I get so much anxiety writing a bridge, like for no reason.
I think, yeah, I don't know. For Left Me Here, Cade came up with something pretty cool for a bridge that we might run with. So I think we'll put a bridge in that song. But
Yeah,
the
we
first
should.
2 songs we release probably won't have a bridge. Well, I'm Not Over You definitely doesn't. And
Instrumental, yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes it be like that.
it do be like that. Dude.
It do be like that.
We'll have to put
We hate
bridges
them
in
bridges.
Running From Phase 3.
Hey, dude, how's the skateboarding coming? Are you still doing that?
Oh, dude, I'm temporarily retired. I got out of the game for like so long, and I was never great. I was never great at it to begin with. I was just like, this is fun, and I suck, and I'm okay with it. And so I would do it, and it came from like growing up. All my older friends were in that group of like when skating was super popular, like
Yeah.
in 2005, and they
Yeah.
were all like 4 or 5 years older than me. So that was the only kids
That's who
I
you
was
looked
around
up
growing
to.
up. So I
You
was
wanted to
like,
look up to
all
and
right,
skate.
I have no other friends. This is what I'm doing. And then of course, like, you know, I was a little kid, so I sucked. And then they all got older and started playing like sports like football and basketball and like moved on. And I was like, well, I'm still skating. So I started skating. I was like, you can have fun and not really be super great at it. You just have to be creative. So I did that for like a long time, as long as I could remember. And then when I started getting into music, I just dropped it off. Well, good old Miss Rona
Yeah.
came and ruined everything. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to start skating again. So I ordered one, and I just like forgot how much it just tears your body down, dude.
Yeah.
You have to
And
be prepared to just eat it all the time.
Aside from that, like, if you don't use it, you lose it for sure. Like, that goes for anything, but especially for that. And the reason I'm not doing it right now is because, like, I went through a phase of like a month where I just forgot how to place my feet, like in certain spots. Like, so I wasn't down packed on everything that I used to know. And so I was just like snapping boards like
Really?
that. And it was like, all right, there goes $50. There goes $50. There goes $50. I was like, all right, maybe I should chill out for a bit. So I'm temporarily tired
I
of
feel you.
skating.
Yeah.
Well, I think what might help you is some new skating shoes.
Oh,
You know who sells some really dang skating shoes?
Crocs?
Crocs, dude.
dude,
I bet you could
if
skate in
Crocs made a skate shoe,
They do, bro.
Shut up and
It's
take
right
my
here.
money.
Look, this is a skate shoe right here. This is my fancy Croc.
dude,
This is your skate
what?
shoe. I mean, you could skate on that. Look,
Dude, you definitely could. Dude,
Kickflip.
you
looks
just gotta put the
skeptical.
action strap on there,
Kickflip,
and you're
dude.
good to
Four-wheel
go.
drive, sport mode kickflip. Easy.
Sport mode
Four-wheel
kickflip.
drive.
Dude, put it in manual.
I'm telling you, you might stop snapping your boards like that. These things are like cushions. They're
Probably.
like
It'd be
clouds on
like
your feet.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Dude,
like- they're
ditch
like
the
little
Vans.
clouds. Yeah, you don't
Get
need
the
Vans,
Crocs.
no. We don't need the Vans. We need the
Whatever
Crocs.
happened to the girl with the Croc sponsorship?
She came to the gig. What do you mean? Like what happened with her?
Yeah,
from
what
the
happened?
Rev?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She
gave
just
us some words.
disappeared?
She gave us some words
Is
of
that-
advice and then
Yeah.
floated off into the distance.
Dude, she's not. Is she like really a Croc sponsor?
She's a rep.
A
It's
rep.
different.
Okay.
Yeah, a little
All
different.
right.
She doesn't have a whole lot of pull.
Yeah, she doesn't.
No, but she's got like she's got a good social media following and stuff. And so like when she posted that picture, Crocs was like, "All right, bet we'll get some free advertising." So they just started sending her some. But we're making moves.
Dude, what do they call the little pins you put on Crocs?
Gibbets, dude.
Gibbets.
Yeah.
Y'all need running from gibbets
I
for your
fully
Crocs.
agree.
Dude, Crocs tweeted the other day and they said, "What are gibbets? Wrong answers only." And like the whole Twitter chain was hilarious. It was people just saying all this nonsense for gibbets, like what they were.
How do you spell gibbet?
Jibbetz. Maybe it is an I. Kate just came back from the Crocs store today,
Well, yeah,
so
that's-
we would know.
It's all
He just came back from
Our
Crocs.
Crocs
Where's that at?
expert.
Tanger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
dang.
That's like so far to go.
I know.
They need one.
You got to do what
closer.
you got to do, though.
Yeah.
You got to get him.
Well, maybe if we get big enough and like start selling enough
Dude,
Crocs through the band,
Crocs
we
are
can
like
get one
so.
here.
I feel like right now Crocs are so big and everybody's just like messing with Crocs heavily, like all over
That's what I'm
social
saying, dude.
media.
That's what we're trying
But
to
if
get
you
to.
remember, like 4 years ago, everybody treated Crocs like Nickelback.
Dude,
Yeah,
they
they
really
did.
People
They
would
did.
clown you.
People
for wearing
were
some
hating
Crocs.
on Crocs so bad, like you didn't see them, you didn't hear about them,
Dude,
nobody talked
it
about
was,
Crocs.
It was like few $1 million company and everyone hated them. Somebody's lying.
Oh,
Dude,
what about the $1 million company thing?
Yeah, there's like $1 million
think
company.
about it-
Somebody's out there buying Crocs.
Crocs and Nickelback are like really similar. Everybody wants to hate on them, but everybody owns one or two. I know everybody owns one or two Nickelback CDs.
You know, one came on the
Don't
radio.
lie.
Nickelback song came on the radio not too long ago, and
Which one?
I did listen to it. I forget what it. This is how you remind me of
Oh,
who
yeah.
I really am. That one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I challenge you, anybody that's watching this, if you're a college student, especially if you're a female college student, try not to sing Rockstar the next time you're at your local
Oh,
bar.
Lord. We've talked about
It won't
covering that.
happen. It won't happen.
You think we
You're
should
gonna
cover that?
sing it.
Should we?
Should you?
Yeah.
I mean, I
a
don't think it would be
bold
a
move.
bad idea, but
don't know
I
if I
mean,
could
it
pull
might
it
like.
off.
I feel like Nickelback just has so much negative cred tied to it that if you do that,
We
like
might
you
get
better make
tomatoes
sure
thrown at us on
you better
stage.
make
No,
sure
that'd
it's
be
a
kinda
joke. And the thing is, like, they're not bad. Like, their
No,
music is not
it's
bad.
not.
They just everyone loves to hate them.
It's that formulaic music too, though.
I'm guilty of it. I've done it. I've hated on them.
They've admitted
like,
it though. They literally write from the same formula like over and over and over and over, and that's why people like had heard them so much that they were like, "Screw this, we don't want to listen to this anymore."
I don't
They-
know why they got so much hate. Like, where did that come from?
Because I'm telling you, that's what it is. Like they wrote. I've read an article about it. Like their songs are formulaic, like to the T.
Okay.
The same thing over and over and over in different keys with different riffs, and it's the same song. Like just go
Okay. I
listen to
thought
all.
the
There's
internet
so
just
many
chose a
bands like
victim.
that too. Like Creed.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
Creed
yeah.
stuff
People
sounds
started
the same
hating
to me.
on Creed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
exactly.
it goes, dude. People get just so tired of you that they'll just boot you right off the bat, and then all of a sudden you're a meme right off the
Creed,
It's tough.
Creed is all Creed is Pearl Jam with a formula.
That's what I'm saying. It's popular Pearl
Okay.
Jam.
But then
like,
we got Alter Bridge.
Somebody
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah, you know
thought
Alter
about
Bridge?
it.
You know who Alter Bridge
Yeah,
is?
yeah, I do
Dude,
know
we,
Alter
though.
Bridge.
It's
we
basically
love that
Creed
band,
with a
yeah.
different
Yeah.
singer. It's
Yeah.
sick.
Mhm.
Miles Kennedy's so good. We went to see them one time. and that
Miles
was a
Kennedy
crazy
does stuff with
concert.
Slash.
He does.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
saw them too.
Yeah, we did. Slash and the Crusaders or whatever. Wasn't that it?
It starts with a C. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was the Crusaders.
Something
But yeah,
like that.
Miles Kennedy was singing, and we met him.
We did.
Yeah.
And Mark Tremonti.
We did.
I've met Brett Michaels, so
Oh.
Oh.
Who's that?
Dude.
Poison.
I don't know that.
Ain't nothing.
has its thorn.
Yeah,
Ain't
okay, gotcha.
nothing but a good
Yeah,
time. You know it.
Okay,
you know it.
Got you.
He did Rock of Love on
He did?
VH1. Wears way too much makeup, definitely had plastic surgery.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he almost die recently?
Yeah, he did. I
Really?
forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
I
Was it?
I don't remember.
Brett Michaels.
Oh,
He was
that
a-
clown. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Clown.
You met that guy?
Yeah, he played a show at Lava Cantina like 4 years ago.
What? No
Yeah.
way. I
He
didn't
kind of
know
looks
that.
like the guy off of Tiger King or whatever.
Yeah.
Brett Michaels is secretly Joe Exotic.
That's him. Dude, he really looks like him. You see this?
Conspiracy theory.
Dude, that.
Was he a cool guy?
Brett Michaels, yeah, he was really nice. He's actually
Did he have
he's
any
also a
tigers?
type 1 diabetic.
Really?
So, like that was cool. Like he was talking about that, and then his people were like, "All right, time to let somebody else talk to him." Because I mean, I got to do it for free because I kind of like was like, "I'm gonna sneak my way around this fence right here," and then meanwhile, everybody else is like donating $100, $200, $300 a person to
get in there.
to
You
get just like a photo with
just
him.
tiptoed through
And I
the
just kind of
window.
was like, I'm gonna sneak my way around back. I mean, Dude, I know Perkins Row. I know how to get back where they were. You can't really hide much at Perkins Row. It's an open area.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
Yeah, you can't. I
Not
think that guy's
fooling
Joe
me.
Exotic. He looks a lot like him.
He might be.
That'd be hilarious.
Carol Baskin.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
The amount that
terrible
that show
name.
popped off is insane.
And now no one's talking about it.
Right.
anymore.
No,
I mean, I
everyone
watched the
watched it.
first 2 episodes. It really makes you hate humanity almost. Like, there's no redeeming characters because it's just real
Everyone
life.
sucks.
No, there is no
Dude,
character development.
my favorite character on that show is the guy. What's his name? He's got like the Lord Farquaad haircut and he rides a jet ski.
Oh shoot!
What's his name?
I don't know, but that's the guy that rode in the 4-wheeler, dude. He was.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
Lord
Hold on, let me look.
He's got the Lord Farquaad haircut.
He does.
Or like Edna Mode haircut. I don't know what it is, but it's bad.
Dude,
The
I've
real
never
crime is like whoever's cutting hair where they're from, because not a single person had a good haircut.
Lord Farquaad.
I've never seen the show.
That's the
but I
guy
just-
that ratted everybody out.
Yeah,
No, I've never seen it.
James something.
Is it the pawn
James
shop
something.
guy or something? Was he? the
Yeah,
pawn shop
yeah.
owner?
Like he sold.
And he had a
he-
lemur.
Yeah, he had a lemur. That's what he
Okay.
had.
He had a lemur.
Yeah, he had a lemur.
That's pretty cool. I'd like a lemur. Dude, where is this bun?
Dude, the big thing is that like they were feeding all their animals the expired meat from Walmart trucks, but like the workers that worked on the exotic zoo were so broke that like that's where they got their meals from.
That's so
like
crazy.
they got their
no.
they got first pick before the Tigers. They would get to have
James
the,
Garrettson.
James Garrettson,
That's
yeah,
him,
dude. Throw a clip of him on there.
Dude, on the four-wheeler. I'll get
Riding
you
up on the
picture.
four-wheeler.
That's a
Wave
sexy dude.
That's hilarious. That guy ratted everybody out. What a clown.
Oh man.
And like you watch it and you almost think it's fake because everybody looks so stereotypically like cheesy, like
Crackhead.
like that guy that wears nothing but Affliction stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
Affliction is the
Mike or
clothing
something?
that your recently divorced uncle wears because he's trying to pick up people at the bar. Like that's who wears Affliction.
Yeah, I've
whatever
never
you're
seen
into,
this
man.
show, but maybe I
Sometimes
should
you gotta-
start. Should I
Dude,
check it out?
it
Is
is
it worth a
It's
watch?
worth
Wild.
it. It's worth
It
it.
depends on what's worth it to you.
Kate says no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might give it a try.
You should. Yeah.
You should
just
definitely
do
give it a try.
Just do
You're
it.
definitely going to think you wasted your time after you watched it, though.
I just want to see Lord Farquaad roll up on a four-wheeler.
Just look up highlights on YouTube. Like
All right.
that's
No, don't
probably the
cheat.
best.
Don't
thing.
cheat.
No,
Watch it.
yeah, no, don't
Full
cheat
send
it.
it.
I
think
recant
everybody's
my
seen that.
statement.
All right, that's enough about Tiger King.
It's like a whole like 20-minute segment.
There we go.
So,
I have
what
a
else y'all
question.
got? Yeah.
So I remember when I first saw you on Instagram, you were playing drums, but it was it for Soteo?
Yeah, that was our last band. That was so Logan, who's one of my really close friends, he and I we went to high school together, and I was in one band and he was doing his own thing, and then I was in another band. He started this band with one of his friends that he grew up with, and it was called Soteo. And so about a year or two goes by. I'm about 8 months out of high school, just started college, and I'm trying to find just anywhere to play music, like anybody to play music with, just like aching to play. And so he hits me up on Instagram, and he's like, hey, you want to jam with me and my buddy? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So they come over. We jam. I'm playing on drums. I'm rusty because I hadn't played drums in so long. And I'm like, yeah, if y'all are trying to start a band or whatever, I'm about it. Just, let me know so I can clear my schedule so we can try to work something out. He's like, yeah, well, we already have a band. We just need somebody to fill in for our drummer for a show that we have. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that. No problem. Just send me a list of the songs y'all want me to learn. So he sends me like 3 of the songs to learn first. He's like, send us a video of you playing these songs so that we know you can do it.
yeah, that's intense.
And then
Okay.
I forgot about it because they never got back with me. Like they didn't send me the full list or something. So I was like, whatever. Like obviously they were not interested. So like another like year goes by, and he hits me up out of nowhere. He's like, hey, you want to jam? I'm like, sure. So he brings like some of the guys from like the new lineup of this band that he had, and we jam. And I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm like, I got to go to work. So I leave. And at the time, I'm working at the mall at the Great American Cookie Factory.
You worked there?
Dude, for 4
Place is
years.
so fire.
Dude, I worked at the one downstairs at the Mall, Louisiana. So like the one that no one ever goes to because they forget it's there. It was so gravy.
You get free cookies?
Dude, I ate more than we probably sold. It was so bad. Like, I don't want to really admit to it, but like I would sit there and just like eat all day and not do a single thing.
That's perfect.
It was-
That
sounds
like a perfect
fantastic.
It was a great job.
Dude, I always get those
I hated
big
it.
sugar cookies. The big ones, dude. Those are so good.
Dude, it was such a great job. It was just so boring, and like the pay was so buns. I'm using your
Buns,
words.
Your buns.
Pay was buns. But so I go to work, and I'm at work for like an hour, and then like these 2 dudes I was just jamming with show up, and they're like, yeah, so we talked about it. How would you like to be our new drummer? I was like,
Are you still at Great American Cookies?
yeah,
when
I'm
they're
still
cook-
at Great
Oh.
American Cookies when they're telling me I'm
so
at
you're
work.
like, so you're like mid cookie and
I'm
just
like-
I'm
I'm like mid fixing their stuff. I'm like, the fuck did you just say?
Yeah,
Like, excuse me? And he was like, do you want to be the drummer for our band? I was like, you couldn't have said this earlier. Hell yeah, I want to be the drummer for your band. So
you put your apron down and rolled out of there, huh?
no, so I
I quit.
finished my shift because I was broke nasty and needed the money. And the next day we, jammed again, and we started. They had one drummer that they were using at the time who he quit. Their original drummer quit because he couldn't do it with Tiger Band. He's still in Tiger Band. That's why he never was a fit for the band because he was just so busy with Tiger Band stuff.
Understandable.
And then the other guy, I don't know what the problem was with the other guy. I don't think it was a problem. I think everybody's schedule just didn't mesh. And so they never had like finite drums down for anything. So I basically got to they had all these songs finished except for drums, and I got to like do my own thing. And they were kind of more jazzy, but my background is more aggressive and like punk and metal.
Yeah.
So like we had like this kind of fusion style of like alternative punk jazz.
Nice.
And it was like, it was
What?
weird. Like it was so weird, but it was so fun. Like it was like one of the funnest times I've ever had playing music. And we did that for a while, and then it got to
Y'all
the point
played a
like
few shows too, huh?
yeah, I want to say we did for the time that I was in the band. I think we played like 6 or 7 shows over a summer.
Cool.
So that was like a short stint, but like it got to the point like we were practicing like 4 days a week and then trying to gig twice a weekend, and it was just like
Dang.
everybody was starting to like get on each other's nerves. So
Where were y'all gigging at?
we gigged at Southside Art Center off of North Foster a bunch. We gigged at the Willow Uptown off of Willow Street in New Orleans. We gigged at the House in Tigerland. We gigged at Henry Turner Jr.'s listening room, and we did a few house parties.
Cool.
So those were all really fun. The Willow was probably my favorite venue, but that was like we didn't know anything about like how to book a college area.
Yeah.
Like we're used to playing like these DIY venues where like people are going to show up if it's a Tuesday. So
Right.
we like are like, all right, yeah, people will show up. So we're like, all right, this is a bar like in New Orleans, and New Orleans is like a big music scene. Like everybody loves music in New Orleans. So we're like, should be no problem. What we failed to realize is we booked this show with 3 other bands at this bar, this really nice, bar that's like 4 playing music at, and they like have DJs every week and stuff and throw like raves there and stuff too. We booked it for like the week before everyone came back for school. So there was like nobody in town. And so like this other band, I'm not going to name who they are, but they know who they are if they're listening.
Called out.
They were the opening band for that show, and they brought like their family members with them. And that was like maybe 7 people. And that's like, aside from like a group of like 10 strangers that walked in, that's like the only people that came.
Dude, we've had gigs way worse than
Oh,
that.
hold up. It gets better. So this band, it opens, and then as soon as they finish their set, they pack up all their stuff and leave and take everyone with them.
Oh.
And so it's literally us and the middle band just playing for each other. And the bar lost so much money that they couldn't even pay us for the night. But we got free drinks off the bar, so that was fun.
We did a gig like that one time where my girlfriend, her friend, and another one of her friends showed up, and literally like I think there was 2 other people in the bar.
Yeah.
And
everybody has a show like that. Everybody, if
we've
you're
had,
looking
like,
to play
2,
music,
3 shows like that. Probably.
It is the worst feeling.
or you're gonna be in a
does suck.
band,
Oh,
or
I
you're
have fun
gonna
at those
do.
shows.
Kate always has fun, dude. I had no fun because I mean,
You
playing
can't get
drums,
that
you'll still have
energy.
fun, but
Yeah.
like I'm in the front looking
Usually,
stupid, just like jumping around.
That's how I would be. Like, and don't get me wrong. If you're gonna play music, if you're gonna do stand up comedy,
you have to do it. Yeah.
If you're gonna do any kind of performance art, you're gonna have that show where there's
Absolutely.
no one there, and you're gonna feel terrible about it. But the thing is, what I've learned is we've all had bad shows. I was so mad and so pissed about what these people did, because they packed up all their stuff, took everyone with them, and just like dipped out, didn't say anything. Like after like
It's cold.
we all thought we were cool. Like we had just bought their merch. Like they were like, yeah, like we'll support y'all too. And like they just like dipped out. Like they were like, all right, thanks for giving us money since y'all aren't gonna make any, and just like dipped.
Dang.
And so we were so pissed. But then I was just like, I don't even care. I was like, I might as well just, it was our last show at Soteo. I was like, might as well have fun. So like our last show, and the funny thing about it is our last show at Soteo, technically who watched us was, I'm going to say 0, but I mean, it was 5 because it was the other band was watching us. The middle band was watching us. And I guess you can count the bartenders too.
Yeah, there we
But
go.
like,
Come on.
but other than that, there was 0 people there. But the second to last show we had, like the week before that, it was at Southside Art Center, which the stage area is about as big as this room.
Right.
So not the stage, like the stage area and the floor area is about as big as this room. So there's like no room, and the AC is hit and miss there. So it like either works half-ass or it doesn't work at all. And usually, you know, when you play a show there, you get like 30 or 40 people in there. Like, and people are coming in and out. The head count on that last show that we played there, which is the second to last show we played, there was 87 people at that show.
Jesus.
And it was us. We played somewhere in the middle, I think, for that show. Like, we either played, there was 4 bands. We either played second to last or we played second. Like, we played right in the middle somewhere. And I remember the AC went out. There was 87 people in a room about this size, like crammed. And I was playing drums with the lights right on me. And I remember like being so exhausted. And I thought it was going to be a bad show. It was like one of our best shows. But the opening band was supposed to bring the drum kit for everybody to share. Like, we were all supposed to like use one kit. Everybody brings their own cymbals, right? They didn't even bring their kit. So me and the other guy like brought like different pieces of our kit. Like, me and one of the other guys in the band brought different pieces of our kit that we wanted to use, like specifically because it sounded a certain way. We had to like finagle this hybrid drum kit out of like 2 or 3 different kits. And then I realized that somebody stole my stick bag, which had my drum keys in it. It had my sticks in it. So I had to borrow somebody else's drumsticks, had no drum keys. So I had to like kind of like finagle tie my kick pedals together because I use double pedals when I play drums. And I'm playing, and like we're playing so aggressively because there's so many people in there, and it's, you know, you can only do so much. So I'm like having to play really loud because they didn't want to mic drums because they didn't want feedback. So I'm playing, and all of a sudden I see something like shoot up, and I realize it's the springs from the kick pedal. So I lose my kick pedal. So I'm just having to kick it with my foot, and I'm just having the time of my life playing this show.
That's
and then
crazy.
like. I'm just sweating. There's blood on my hands from playing so hard. And then like the snare wires pop off.
Oh my God.
I was like, bro, I would not have traded that gig for anything in the world. Like, everything that could have gone wrong possibly went wrong.
Yeah,
And
we
it
had
was
one
still
like that.
probably my favorite gig to ever play. Just because like the energy was so high.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
many people
We had
there.
a gig
That's
where
the best
everything went
part.
wrong, but we all wanted to go home. Like, it was not our favorite gig. It was probably our favorite gig.
Well, the next week, everybody else wanted to go home. We were like, all right, nobody's here. The first band left and, you know, didn't say anything and just kind of screwed us over. So we just want to go home.
Yeah. I've had
And we
that.
were in
Fuck
New
that.
Orleans, so we were like an hour away from home,
That sucks.
which
that you went
sucked
there.
the most.
Dude, if the energy is good there at the gig, like that's just the best
Yeah.
part. Like
You can't
everything
match
can go.
that. That's
We
Yeah,
had like,
everything
we
can
had like
go
12
wrong.
people at one gig, but all 12 people were at the front of the stage, like going crazy, and so it was fun anyway.
Yeah, like
I don't
that's
care.
fine as long as there's people up.
That's
there.
how it
I don't
generally
have,
is.
like Joe Blow in the back, just like doing this to the music. I'm cool. I don't know.
Generally, like when you play a house party, those are really fun because there's not like an insane amount of people there, but there's not like nobody there, and everybody's like
Ready to party. and
Ready to
stuff.
party.
Yeah, I feel
That one
So
house
there's
party
always
we
that
did
one
was-
guy that's like doesn't even know
fun.
what song you're playing, but he pretends that he does, and he's just like, "Whoa!" And you're like, "Yeah, dude, like we wrote this yesterday, but go ahead, every word.
Everywhere.
All right,
Yeah.
every word." We had somebody say that we had written a song when we were in Soteo, and we had written it like a week prior to the show, and we played a house party, and this dude we've never met before just shows up to this party, and he's like, hell yeah, man, y'all are my favorite. I know every word to this song. And I was like, I don't even think Irish knows every word to this song. I don't think he does.
Dude, people have funny taste. Like some people will tell us, like, what was your favorite song? And they're like, Big Me was your favorite. I was like, really?
Absolutely.
Like, really? Big Me of all the songs we played. So you never know what people are gonna come out
Yeah,
there
you
and
have
just
no
love.
idea.
Like,
I forgot about that.
yeah, Big Me.
Big me. Big me.
I know. I looked at that guy. I was like, what?
I mean, some
Really?
people's is like Tennessee Whiskey when we play that, and it's super weird. Too, 'cause
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
That's
like-
just one of our kind of write-off songs. Like, we're
Yeah,
not
it's
that
just to
worried
kill
about
like
that song.
5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but yeah, you never know. Any song you play could be like some dude's just all-time
Favorite
Yeah.
song.
Dude, my best feeling that we've had at a gig yet, though, we did this acoustic gig and we started playing "I'm Not Over You" at it, and by the end of it, like everybody in the crowd was singing the lyrics with us because it's.
I think that was the last one I went to.
Yeah,
was
that's
it
the one
Rev?
you went to. Yeah. Yeah, everybody
been
was
to
just
a
like
few.
singing the lyrics after we got done with it. That was cool.
That was
such a
that
good
was the
feeling.
first time like
That was the same one, I think, where that guy came
Like,
up. He was like,
oh my God, dude.
"Sweet child of mine, do it." He was
He's
like,
about
"My
to catch these
girlfriend loves that
hands,
song,
dude. Oh.
please." Blake was so
I was
pissed.
about to,
You take a guitar and it's
dude, I'm a pretty chill guy, but he got me riled up.
I just hate when they come up to the stage and just are just like screaming in
Like
your
mid
face.
song, it's
Yeah,
just like,
just like,
bro.
We
picking
had
it up
one
in the mic.
time. When we were playing at Southside, this lady who was clearly like cracked out of her mind.
Yeah.
Like she clearly like saw that there was something going on. Cause I mean, let's be honest, Southside is not in the best part of town. It's by BRCC. So it's like,
It's out there.
it's out there, you know? So this lady, like, you know, I want to say she was probably in her mid 20s, but because of like, you know, she looked like she was approaching 50, you know, she like comes in there and like, we're about like a third through the set. And she squats down on the ground and like lays down on the floor and starts like caressing Logan's pedal board.
Oh my god!
And just starts like petting it. And Logan's like kicking at her and he's like shooing her with his foot. And then she like stands up and like straightens like stiff as a brick and like walks 2 steps over to Brock and like just starts touching his bass strings.
No.
What,
And then turns around and walks out. When we finished the gig, it was like about 1 a.m. when we finished, and like the other band had finished. She's like playing in the middle of the street in traffic on a skateboard on her stomach, dude, just like fishing around,
vibing out there.
like just vibing in the middle of the street.
Whatever you're into, man. If you have a good time.
Do you ever have people come up and like rip your set list right before you go on?
That was great. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was really awesome.
Yeah, I love people.
Yeah, I don't think we usually like tape them down like really like
Yeah.
Yeah,
hard
we did
on
too.
there
This
so
girl
that
just
like
yoinked it and just went.
Yep.
just tore it right
that
down.
would,
She got mad that we weren't playing Rascal
that would
Flatts.
probably piss me off really bad because I forget what song's gonna go first before I even get there. Like
Yeah.
I need that set list because I guarantee you I don't remember what the hell I put on it.
Yeah.
Luckily, I prepared for such a situation and had printed like 4 extra set lists because I was ready for somebody to be a dumbass and rip our set list.
Well, he's an engineer, so he's always prepared.
He's always prepared.
yeah, I'd be always prepared. All right, man. Well, it's been fun, dude. It's been a good podcast. We've enjoyed
This
it.
has been a
Yeah.
good pod
Yeah, we'll have to have you on again, man.
for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
All right, guys. Well,
For
once
sure.
again, this is Hart Cleveland. We're running from. Don't forget to check out I'm Not Over You on. Well, this will be Friday. So go on Spotify. We'll be on there by then.
You can follow us on Instagram at Running From Band.
Yep. All right. Well, it's been fun. We'll catch y'all next time. This is After the Set with Running From.